Hey friend, can we talk about something most folks dodge around once they hit a certain age? See, living alone as an older adult isn't just about learning how to reach that one cabinet without falling over or figuring out how much pasta to cook for one. It's deeper than that. It's about waking up each day with purpose, staying sharp in the head and steady on the feet, and knowing, deep down, that your best years aren't behind you just because you've got a few gray hairs and no one else is brushing their teeth in your sink. I've met some pretty incredible older folks who've cracked the code, folks living alone but thriving. And they all seem to share a few not-so-obvious habits. Smart, practical, sometimes even hilarious routines that help them stay strong, independent, and full of life. So whether you're already living solo, thinking about it, or just trying to make the most of the next chapter, this one's for you. And I promise, these aren't your usual eat more kale tips. Let's dive in. Number 1. Stop eating like you're still cooking for a family. Now this one hits home for a lot of folks. When you've spent decades cooking for others, maybe a spouse, kids, grandkids, the kitchen used to mean something. You had a reason to whip up Sunday roasts or bake 4 lasagnas for a family gathering. But when it's just you, the motivation shifts, and sometimes vanishes completely. What I see too often, and many older folks admit this, is the slow slide into what I call bare minimum eating. You know, toast and tea for dinner, maybe a cold boiled egg and some crackers if you're feeling fancy. Or for some, it's frozen TV dinners every night because cooking for one feels like a chore or a waste of time. But here's the truth. Your body needs more care now, not less. One woman in her 70s shared that after her husband passed, she didn't cook a full meal for nearly 2 years. She said, "I didn't see the point. I wasn't hungry. Nothing tasted good. I lost weight, felt dizzy all the time. Turns out I was malnourished and didn't even realize it." The fix isn't about suddenly becoming a 5-star chef. It's about reframing your meals as a form of self-respect. It means taking 30 minutes on a Sunday to make a pot of vegetable soup, portion it out, and freeze it. It means keeping healthy snacks around: nuts, boiled eggs, hummus, fruit, not just chips and cookies. It means sitting down to eat at a table without a phone in your hand or the TV blaring. Even if it's just you. Some seniors have found joy again in cooking by treating themselves like they matter. They buy fresh herbs, they try new recipes scaled for one, or they join online cooking communities where they swap ideas with others in the same boat. You're not cooking for a crowd anymore, but you're still cooking for someone who matters. You. 2. Schedule standing health check-ins, even when you feel fine. One of the sneakiest traps of living alone is believing that no news is good news. If nothing hurts, if you're getting around okay, if you can still make your tea and fold your laundry, then you assume all is well. But here's the problem. Most of the serious health issues that affect older adults don't start with fireworks. They creep in, slowly, quietly. Until one day you're dizzy in the shower, or you fall out of bed, or forget your PIN number for the 3rd time in a week and start wondering, is this just aging or something worse? This is why so many seniors talk about setting regular personal health check-ins, not with a doctor necessarily, but with yourself. These folks treat it like a mini appointment. Once a month or even once a week, they ask the big questions. How's my balance? Am I still sleeping well? Have I been losing weight without trying? Am I remembering things the way I used to? How's my energy? One retired postal worker shared on a health forum that he logs his blood pressure every Saturday morning and keeps track of his steps and weight weekly, not to obsess, but to stay ahead of any surprises. Another woman said she writes down any changes in mood or appetite, and every 3 months she reviews that journal with her doctor. And when it comes to formal checkups, don't wait for something to go wrong. Keep up with vision, dental, hearing, and screenings, especially if you've got a family history of heart disease, diabetes, or memory decline. Prevention doesn't get headlines, but it saves lives. Because when you're living alone, you are your own first responder. So the earlier you catch changes, big or small, the better your odds of staying upright, independent, and out of a hospital bed. 3. Build a safety net team, even if you never call them. This one's personal for a lot of people. It's the emotional side of living alone that no one really wants to talk about. No one likes to think about emergencies. We all want to believe we're still strong, capable, and sharp. But emergencies don't care how independent you are. I've read story after story from seniors who had no one to call when the power went out for 3 days, when they slipped in the bathroom, when their medication ran out and they couldn't drive. The scariest part? These aren't rare situations. They happen every day. That's why having a safety net team isn't just smart, it's life insurance without the paperwork. Think of it like this. If something happened tonight, let's say you fainted or your heart raced out of nowhere, who would know? Who would check on you tomorrow morning if you didn't show up anywhere? Would someone notice you hadn't left the house in a few days? One older man I came across had a simple but powerful system. His daughter lives 300 miles away, so every morning he sends her a one-word text: alive. If she doesn't hear from him by 10 a.m., she knows to call or have a neighbor check in. They've never needed to use it, but it's there. Another woman gave her neighbor a key and a sealed envelope with her medical history and emergency contacts. She said, "I hope she never needs it, but if she does, I've made it easy for her to help. You don't need to be surrounded by dozens of people. You just need a few good ones, a neighbor, a friend, a church member, even someone from your local senior center. Let them know you live alone. Let them know how to reach you. And just as importantly, let them know how they can help if something ever goes wrong. And if you don't have anyone close by, consider a medical alert system or even setting regular wellness calls with local senior organizations. This isn't weakness. This is wise planning, because the goal isn't to be rescued. The goal is to have the peace of mind that if something goes sideways, you won't be dealing with it in silence, alone. 4. Treat loneliness like a health risk, because it is. Loneliness is a quiet, creeping danger. It doesn't show up with a fever or a limp. It doesn't cause bruises or broken bones. But make no mistake, it can do just as much damage, if not more. Most folks don't realize this, but chronic loneliness in older adults has been linked to higher risks of heart disease, high blood pressure, weakened immunity, cognitive decline, depression, and even early death. We're talking about something as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet society still treats it like a character flaw, like if you're lonely, it must mean you're not trying hard enough. That's nonsense. Living alone doesn't automatically make you lonely, but being disconnected over time, without meaningful interaction, does. And I've seen it happen fast. One man said that after his wife died, he went an entire week without speaking to another human being. No calls, no visits, just the television and his own thoughts. He said, "I didn't even notice at first, but by day 5, I started forgetting why I even bothered getting out of bed." But here's where the strength comes in. You can treat loneliness like the health condition it is. That means acknowledging it without shame and taking action before it starts chipping away at you. Some seniors have found small, steady ways to stay connected that make a huge difference. Like joining local walking groups, volunteering once a week, having regular phone calls with an old friend, or attending a community fitness class just to say hello to someone. One 82-year-old woman started reading books over Zoom with her neighbor's granddaughter. "We take turns reading Harry Potter," she said. "She thinks I'm cool. I think she's a little genius. It's a win-win." The bottom line is, you weren't meant to do life completely alone, even if you live by yourself. Treat social connection like medicine, because it is. 5. Walk with purpose, not just steps. We've all heard the advice. Just keep moving. And yes, moving is better than sitting still. But when you live alone, you start to realize it's not just movement that matters. It's why you move. I spoke to a retired mechanic once who said he used to walk 5 miles a day out of habit, but it got boring. I stopped walking, he said, because it started to feel like I was pacing around in circles with nowhere to go. What got him back into it? A reason. He started walking to take photos of birds in the park. He learned their names. He made a scrapbook. And wouldn't you know, it turned his walks into little adventures. That's the difference between just getting your steps in and walking with purpose. Your purpose might be checking your garden every morning, or going to the store for one ingredient you don't really need, just to talk to someone, or visiting the same park bench every afternoon, rain or shine, because it reminds you of someone you love. Purpose gives motion meaning. More than that, purposeful walking improves more than your legs. It sharpens your mind, lifts your mood, and, if you're walking outside, boosts vitamin D, which supports your immune system and bone health. And when you know why you're walking, you're more likely to keep doing it, even when it's cold, even when your joints are cranky. One woman said her walks were her therapy. I leave my house and I leave my worries behind me. By the time I come back, my heart's steadier and my mind's quieter. So don't just count your steps, count the moments they bring you. 6. Build a muscle bank. Yes, even at 80. Here's something not enough older adults are told. Losing muscle as you age is not just about getting weaker, it's about getting sicker, faster. Muscle is more than strength. It's protection. It helps prevent falls. It keeps your metabolism running. It keeps your balance sharp and your joints supported. Most importantly, it helps you bounce back when life throws something at you, like an illness, surgery, or injury. When you're living alone, the ability to stand up after a fall or lift yourself off the couch can be the line between staying home and ending up in long-term care. And yet, many seniors stop strength training after 60. They think, I'm too old, or I don't want to bulk up. But real talk? It's never too late to build muscle, and you don't need a gym membership or dumbbells the size of bowling balls. I know of an 83-year-old gentleman who lifts milk jugs filled with water while watching the news. He does 15 squats at the kitchen sink every morning. His balance improved so much, he no longer needs his cane. Another woman swears by chair yoga videos on YouTube. I can't get on the floor, she said. But I can stretch, I can breathe, and I can feel strong again. Building your muscle bank doesn't require perfect form or fancy equipment. It requires consistency. 2 or 3 times a week. 15 to 20 minutes. Work your legs, arms, core, and especially your grip strength. Why grip? Because if you ever need to grab onto something to stop a fall or open a stubborn jar alone, that grip could save your life. And don't forget, muscle protects your bones, your heart, and even your brain. Stronger muscles are linked to lower risk of dementia and better glucose control. So whether it's resistance bands, soup cans, gardening, or hauling your laundry basket up the stairs, build that muscle, 1 rep at a time. 7. Create a mental emergency kit for dark days. Let's be real here. Some days are just heavy. It doesn't matter how strong you are or how positive your outlook has always been. When you live alone, especially as you get older, there will be moments where the silence gets too loud, the past creeps in, or the future feels uncertain. Grief, regret, fear, loneliness. They all know your address. That's why more and more older adults have started building what they call a mental emergency kit. It's not a physical bag, it's a plan, a set of go-to tools for when the clouds roll in and you need to find your way back to the light. One man said his kit includes a worn-out letter from his late wife, a playlist of gospel songs that lift him up, and a rule. No matter how bad he feels, he gets outside for 10 minutes and feels the sun on his face. Another woman keeps a small box with 5 things inside. A photo of her granddaughter, a dried rose from her husband's memorial, a piece of dark chocolate, a silly comic strip, and a note she wrote to herself that says, "You've made it through worse. This is not the end." These aren't magic fixes, but they're anchors, reminders, things to hold on to when your emotions are trying to convince you that you're alone, forgotten, or stuck. A mental emergency kit could include a short list of people to call, even if it's just to hear another voice. It might include a ritual, like lighting a candle or praying, or journaling a single line that says how you feel, no matter how raw. Because here's the truth: dark days happen, but they don't last forever. And when you have a plan for those days, when you know where your emotional flashlight is stored, you're far more likely to come out the other side with your dignity, your faith, and your future intact. 8. Intermittent fasting, with guidance. Now this one might raise an eyebrow, especially for those of us raised on 3 square meals a day. But hear me out, because what many older adults are quietly discovering is that how you eat can matter just as much as what you eat, especially as you age. Intermittent fasting isn't about starving yourself or chasing some trendy diet. It's about giving your body time to rest and repair between meals. As we get older, our metabolism slows down, our digestive system becomes more sensitive, and our risk of chronic conditions like diabetes, inflammation, and joint pain increases. Intermittent fasting, done gently and wisely, can help your body fight back against all of that. One 72-year-old man said he started eating between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., cutting out late-night snacking and giving his stomach time to fully rest before bed. I started sleeping better. My acid reflux eased up, and my energy in the morning actually went up. Another woman said, I only fast for 12 hours overnight, dinner at 7, breakfast at 7, but it's made a world of difference. My digestion feels calmer, I feel cleaner. Now, it's crucial to say this. If you have diabetes, are underweight, or are taking certain medications, you absolutely need to talk to your doctor first. No exceptions. But if you're generally healthy and interested in trying it, even just adjusting your meal window a little bit can give your body a chance to reset. It's about creating rest for your system. Not punishment, not obsession. Just clarity, balance, and yes, maybe even a few more good years. 9. Downsize your living space before you're forced to. Here's something I've seen too many folks ignore until it's too late. The home that once brought you joy, raised your kids, or held all your memories can slowly become a burden when you're living alone. That staircase you never used to think twice about, now it's a hazard. That giant kitchen, a pain to clean. That backyard, overgrown and too much for one person to manage. But the hardest part? Letting go. Because we attach stories to our homes, and stories are hard to pack up. But here's what smart, forward-thinking seniors have figured out. Downsizing isn't defeat. It's liberation. One man said, I moved out of our 3-bedroom home into a 1-bedroom apartment with an elevator, and I finally stopped worrying about slipping in the tub or climbing up those old wooden stairs. I gained peace of mind, not just space. Another woman who had lived alone for 8 years said, I donated half my things, sold the rest, and moved closer to the local library and coffee shop. Now I bump into people. I see life happening around me. I didn't realize how isolated my old house had made me. The key is to do it on your own terms, before an injury, illness, or crisis forces your hand. When you make that choice while you're still mobile and clear-headed, you get to design your new environment around your real needs today, not the life you lived 30 years ago. A smaller, safer, more convenient space can actually add years to your life because it reduces fall risk, lowers stress, and puts support systems closer. And don't think of it as giving up space. Think of it as making room for freedom. 10. Sleep like it's your medicine, because it is. There's this strange badge of honor among older adults. I don't sleep much anymore. As if it's just something we have to accept. But we don't. And we shouldn't. Sleep isn't optional. It's not just rest, it's repair. It's when your brain files memories, your heart rate regulates, your blood pressure resets, your body heals. And yet, many seniors treat sleep like an afterthought, falling asleep in front of the TV, waking at 3 a.m., napping all day, and wondering why they're groggy, irritable, or forgetful. But here's the good news. Sleep issues can be fixed. Not always perfectly, but improved dramatically with a few changes. I remember one retired teacher who said, "I thought it was normal to get 5 broken hours a night. Then I cut caffeine after 1 p.m., installed blackout curtains, and started a wind-down routine. Now I sleep 7 hours straight, and I feel like I got a second lease on life." Others swear by magnesium supplements, warm baths before bed, using a sound machine, or journaling for 10 minutes to clear the mental junk. One man said he now treats bedtime like a ceremony. No screens, soft music, a little prayer, and a cozy pair of socks. "It's my ritual," he said, "and I fall asleep with a smile." Poor sleep is linked to almost every major health issue: heart disease, memory loss, weakened immunity, even weight gain. So if there's one habit worth getting obsessive about as an older adult, it's protecting your sleep like it's a priceless heirloom, because in many ways it is. Now listen, I don't know what your living room looks like, or how many birthday candles you've blown out, but I do know this. Living alone doesn't mean going it alone. It means learning how to be on your own side, how to keep showing up for yourself, body, mind, and spirit, even on the days when the world gets a little too quiet. Some of these habits might take a little time. Others you could start today. But either way, the point isn't to be perfect. It's to be intentional, to take your health seriously, to laugh often, to sleep better, to downsize the stuff that's weighing you down and build up the stuff, like strength, purpose, peace, that's going to carry you forward. And hey, if this video gave you even one little nudge in the right direction, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more real talk like this, and share it with someone else who might be figuring out this whole solo life thing too. We're all just walking each other home after all. No shame in grabbing a flashlight and a few good habits for the road. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.